Hey everybody, welcome back to the Craft Dungeon. And I'm sure some of you have noticed that I have recently changed my YouTube channel name. And I'd been thinking for a while about changing it since I started recording video. And I took me not too long really to come up with what I wanted to name it, but I just kind of thought that the dirty paintbrush was funny, and nobody else had it because I looked. Just because I don't like to clean my paintbrushes, and a lot of times I will catch myself forgetting over and over and over again, and they will still be sitting down here in dirty water. So that's terrible of me. I am definitely not a real artist, because a real artist would take care of their paintbrushes. So luckily, for the most part, I buy my brushes on sale, and I don't buy super expensive brushes, because it would be pointless for me to spend a lot of money on brushes. I'm not a professional painter or anything like that. I do have a couple of sets of ones that I really, really love, and I do try to keep those. I'm going to spill my coffee, just watch. This is my favorite set. They're slightly long handled, and they're purple handles, and you know, the handles are purple, so what's not to love, since purple is my favorite color. So I have a decent set of those. So anyway, the Dirty Paintbrush is my YouTube channel name now. And aside from because I don't like to clean my paintbrushes, the other reason is because, you know, my mind tends to get dirty sometimes, but I will do my best to keep it clean on YouTube so that, you know, younger people can watch if they want to, and I won't offend anybody, which I don't want to do. However, my personality tends to be sarcastic and a little snarky, and I just like to have fun. So I'm a little dirty with my paintbrushes and my mind sometimes. But anyway, that was kind of the reasoning for that. I did want to show you, I'm back on the pink table today. I've actually got two tripods set up now. So I've got the one here on the shelf with the little bendy arms. And then I've got the one over on my super messy table, which is where I try to do most of my super wet stuff. My tables came from IKEA. We have to drive about 2.5 hours to get to the nearest IKEA. It was worth it to buy these tables. I love them. Someday I'll do a little tour of the tables, but I wanted to show just real quick kind of what I've been working on and what my plans are. And I'm finishing this. I did this back in November. This is a piece in my art journal slash junk journal slash, yeah. I'll do a flip through of this. This is kind of a little bit of everything book, because I've got some memory keeping in here, and I've got some art journaling in here, and I didn't do very good this first kind of year and a half, 2 years of keeping all that stuff kind of separated, so it kind of all went into one book. But I wanted to, I don't know how many of you follow the Art Journal Junkie Facebook group, but one of the people that posts a lot in there, and she's around the community, is Lisa Oxley. And I just happened to run across this process video of her doing a page similar to this with this color scheme. And I thought, you know, I have a hard time sitting down and just doing something from my own brain that works out well. And so I just kind of followed what she did, the basics, you know, kind of how she spread the color and then what she did to it after that. I used some different colors. I used different images. She had some of her own images that she had created that she actually put down on the page. I found a quote in a magazine, and I'm not finished with the quote yet, but I was trying out my new Posca paint pens, which I'm absolutely in love with. I got this this set on Amazon for, I think, about $24. These are the super fine tip pins, and I just could not believe how well this wrote over the gesso, the Mod Podge. There's probably a little bit of glue in there somewhere. It wrote over the washi tape. It was wonderful. So I found this quote in a magazine. So I did this back in November, okay? And this is how long it's taken me to finish this. And I found the quote that I wanted to use on this page in a magazine while I was sitting at the beauty salon waiting to get my do done. And it says, "We do not change the world when we whisper, we change it when we roar." That was inspiring for me. So I wanted to use that on this piece. I finally, of course, I don't like my handwriting, my lettering, any of that. It's terrible, but I did it anyway. And I kind of just made it whimsical because that was kind of the theme of the page to begin with. I have not even unwrapped all of these yet. All of these come individually wrapped, although the pastel ones, which I'm super in love with, and I'm in a pastel mood right now. But these the package was wrapped, but the individual markers weren't wrapped in those. But I have not undone all these yet, and I don't intend to sit here and undo all of them while you're watching, because hey, that's just boring. But I can be boring at times, and that's all right. I wanted to add a little bit of color to the quote in some of the places where I have some thicker lines, and I'm just not entirely sure what colors to use, I guess, and I'm afraid I'm just gonna screw this all up. But I gotta stop being afraid that I'm gonna screw things up or I'm never gonna get anything done. So back to the point is Lisa Oxley's video that she had posted in the Art Journal Junkie Facebook group back in November inspired me. She's got a ton of she posts videos often of just onto Facebook of her just doing like an art journal spread. And, you know, you can kind of use that as a guide to at least follow some steps. If you're kind of new to art journaling, or if you're like me and you sit there and stare at blank pages and you try to throw color down and kind of think you're doing something good, but it doesn't turn out how you want it to be. I'm in love with this. This turned out, I wish I would have done, I was not recording at that time. So I wish that I would have done a video on this, but my hope is to kind of do some more of that, maybe some non-talking, which might make some of you happy, some non-talking videos of just what I do when I sit down to do a journal. So basically kind of what I wanted to do, like I said, was just kind of add some color here to some of these words. I went back over some of them and made them darker, made some of the letters darker. Like I said, these are the ultra fine tip. I'm going to order the fine tip next that has the bigger tip, and then I may even get the bigger set yet. The bigger tip yet, because this is great for writing, lettering and stuff like that, and definitely detail, which I wanted some like this. I also want a little bit thicker ones for more of an outlining and more doodling as well. So what I'm going to try to do here is kind of add some purple where it's not purple, or it's not close to being purple. So anywho, it is New Year's Day. Luckily we don't have to work today, and I didn't really do much crafting or anything yesterday. I did get off work a little early yesterday, but I came home and we kind of took some more Christmas decorations down. See, this right here is Mod Podge. So I am thrilled that it's just flawlessly painting right over this with no issues. Because even though this is supposed to be matte Mod Podge, it's still shiny, which drives me nuts. Oh, I got some bubbling there, but I don't care because, you know, it's an art journal page. I was hoping I could find a place that's dark that I could go put some yellow in, since I've got some yellow on the page. And I was going to swatch these for you guys. I know most of you probably have a set of these or have seen other people do it a million times. But I have a piece of craft paper, a piece of black paper, and a piece of white paper right here next to me. And my intention was to do a short swatch video just to kind of show everyone what their opaqueness is. So like here I've got a lot of blue, so I was thinking, oh yeah. Oh, see, I never know what to expect anymore. I mean, I knew, I've watched other people use these, and I knew that they were probably going to be pretty stinking awesome, but it's nice when you get something and it like meets or exceeds your expectations. So you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty stinking awesome. I try very hard to keep my language clean. I tend to have a little bit of the sailor going on, but I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want, you know, I don't know who's going to be watching this, so I do have a professional career that I have to keep it clean for too, you know, so it's, for some of you, you can imagine that when I say things like pretty dang and pretty darn, you know, that if I had the ability to throw the F-bomb, I probably would be when I'm super excited, because that's just, you know, what I do. So we're going to do some green on top of this. And like I said, all I'm doing is just coming in here and just adding a little bit of pop to this quote. So I might go in, I don't know where else to, I like that, you know, the letters are messy, the quote's messy. It's supposed to be messy. And even going over some of the black border doesn't bother me. I kind of like it. So, and I can't, you know, no matter how hard I try to direct the lighting so that I can actually see what I'm doing, I've moved my clamp light back to the very corner over here of this table, and I just keep trying to kind of readjust things, and I've realized, you know, that I need to turn the work so that the shadow of my arm is not over what I'm trying to do, but it's a learning process, so I will get there eventually. I think maybe blue for the eye, possibly. And since I haven't used these, and I'll tell you, these are very quick to flow. Once you, you know, you push the tip a couple of times, hold it down just for a few seconds, and then, you know, like you're going to make dots, it immediately starts flowing. I've had some of the cheaper paint pens, like the Michaels Craft Smart crap that, you know, that's what I was basing my, you know, oh, here's how a white paint pen's going to function, or here's how a black paint pen's going to function. No. I mean, if that's all that's available to you and that's all you can get, you know, great, use it. I've used the Craft Smart, the black, the white, and I've got a gold and a silver. The white's not near as opaque as I'd like it to be. It's just not pigmented enough. I haven't even tried to use this white marker yet. I guess I could use some black and white to do some doodling. And I'm assuming, I haven't really looked. I bought these on Amazon. I'm assuming these are the color palettes that you get. The pastels and the classics, and then they have the couple of metallics. I don't know if they have any other colors or not. I don't probably really need any other colors. But I'm definitely gonna get another set of a little bit thicker nibs for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this white one on my black scrap sheet over here. Oh, this is gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, I just don't know where I want to do it. I think what I want to do maybe, yeah, like up here. turn this around till I can see what's going on. Let me see. And you don't have to push down at all. The paint flows right out. These are amazing. I love them. I'm in love. If you're on the fence about Posca pens, order them. They're not expensive at all. Like I said, I got all of this for like 24 something, so they're cheap. I view that as cheap. And I have been through the ridiculousness of what happens is when I get some extra money to spend, you know, I'll go, we have Michael's here and we have Hobby Lobby here. And, you know, so both of those craft stores. And typically what happens is I get money, it burns a hole in my pocket, I go blow it, you know, there, and they only carry a limited, you know, amount of things, right? So there's a lot of things you're missing out on, or that I was missing out on by always doing that, rather than, you know, finding things online that I really want. Like I've had a list of stuff forever that I've wanted to buy, and I just never do because I can't get it here, and I would never, you know, order it on Amazon or wherever and just wait for it. One of the oldest examples I have of that is forever I've wanted the ink sprays from Lindy's Stamp Gang, and I would never order them, you know, so I've bought some of the Delusion sprays, and I've made my own out of paint and alcohol, which they work okay. You know, if you just want the ability to spray, you know, for a specific project you're working on, mix a little bit of paint with a little bit of, you could do it with water, but I use alcohol. And I actually bought a package of little metal balls, basically what they would use in something like this, the shaker ball. You can buy them, what are they called? I can't think. Anyway, I bought a bag of those off Amazon so that I can throw them in my little Walmart spray bottles and, you know, mix up some spray paint, you know, for it. It's not like spray ink, okay? It's different. When you water down paint, it does water down the pigment. So yeah. Anyway, squirrel. There are uses for that, where it works just fine, and you can do that on a project. Like, I can see myself using, like, white paint or black paint in a spray bottle just so that I can come in and do some white spritzing or black spritzing. I've used color spritzing, and it's turned out really cool. So I wouldn't be afraid to try it if you need a quick application of color, or some detail that you just want to add a little bit to. I wouldn't hesitate at all to do that. So, I don't know. I'm loving adding some little bits of color here. And so I did the other letters in black last night. Obviously, you know, it's dry, so these aren't bleeding into it or anything, making it look all funky. It looks great. Yeah. It's a little hard to see the word whisper, so I guess I would just kind of like to make that a little bit darker. And of course, see, I'm going to run into shadow issues. And this is going to be a mess anyway, because I can't, there's no way I'm going to be able to exactly follow the lines I made last night, because, you know, and I'm not trying to go for like a full block letter, but if I have space to kind of add a little bit, I'm going to, just because it gives it, you know, it pops from the page more to be able to do that. So, like, this E is kind of, the problem over here is because I've got this bubble wrap stamp in black, you know, where I'd stamped some bubble wrap. So I'm going to have to probably, and since it's textured, it's very bubbly, because there was a lot of paint there. So that R is going to be hard to see no matter what. So I'm probably going to wait for that to dry a second and then go over that with some white maybe, but you can see here how wonderful this looks. And the black is awesome too. So yeah, I absolutely love these markers. Again, I would suggest them to anybody that's on the fence or not sure about them. Again, they're Posca paint pens. They are Japanese, or I think it's a Japan import. So yes, all of the writing on them is actually in Japanese, except for where it says Mitsubishi Pencil Company Ltd. So then you have to wonder if that has anything to do with Mitsubishi, the car company, or the air conditioning company, or the Mitsubishi makes single room unit air conditioners, I think. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah. So if you're on the fence, if you've never heard of them before, please, I encourage you to go check them out. Like I said, you can order them on Amazon, and I think they are a great investment for art journaling, junk journaling, whatever you want to call it, whatever you do. So at least it sticks out more now. You can see it. And I literally just went over that R again and then used the white, and there's no bleed over. So they dry really fast. So again, this is paint. I would consider it highly pigmented, very opaque. At some point, I'll probably do a video because I'd like to swatch my new watercolors too, which, since I had just made the comment that I'm in the pastel mood, I'll just say that those are pastels as well. So I'm pretty hyped about that. So I was going to swatch those as well. So I'd kind of like to go back and swatch all these on black and maybe craft for you guys, just so you can kind of see how they look. But yeah, my intent was not to, color in every single letter. So my intent was just to kind of go through and give a few of them a color. And the thing about things like this is I tend to go back sometimes and add to it, even if I've done it months ago. So that'll be okay. But again, I don't think I can post the link to that video because it was in a closed Facebook group. I'll see if it's on YouTube or anywhere, but her name's Lisa Oxley. For some of you, there's a lot of us that are in multiple groups, and there's probably several of you that are in Art Journal Junkie. If not, go look for it on Facebook. There's a lot of inspiration there. Even if you don't consider yourself an art journaler, I think that you can, it's something that's fun and easy to get into, especially if you're already doing junk journals or glue books or things like that. I think it's an easy transition. And you don't have to journal with writing. They call it art journaling because, you're just throwing some color down, and you might throw a quote in there or something, but you could be, you could have had a bad day or a great day or whatever the case may be. And so, like this day, it was a nice day outside. I was, the warm color, the pinks and the oranges and the yellows just made me feel good. And of course I added purple because it's my favorite color, and then you got to have some teal. So anyway, I'll just do a flip through of this real quick. This is a book that I started a couple of years ago. Yeah, the ribbons are gross. They don't match, or they're scraps that I used, but I did go through, and reinforce this. I didn't do anything to the back cover yet, but this is a composition book. And I did have a request from a friend of mine who they had sat down one night and watched one of my videos recently, and she had made the comment, well, this is not for beginners, and she wants to know how to make a junk journal or glue book or whatever. So I'm going to try to get a video posted here soon, mainly for her, but for anybody else as well that maybe is new to the communities, hasn't, watched a lot of the other YouTubers, because it's out there everywhere. But I will do it because that's what we do. We all kind of give our own take on other processes, other people's processes, and give credit where credit's due and put our own twist on it. And that's part of being in the arty kind of community. So this was magazine collage with Mod Podge. It was starting to peel up on the edges, so I just threw down some washi tape. That's basically all I did. This was also from a magazine. It was a picture I cut out that I loved, and it, you know, I didn't even try to get it down flat and smooth, and it's all wrinkly, and I love it that way. So a lot of these pages started out as paint brush off pages. So that's kind of how this one started out. And then my husband sent me flowers this year on my birthday, so I just kind of threw this stuff in here. The F word is on there, so I don't know if I'm supposed to cover it up or not. I will learn these things. This was a paint brush off page. So this is basically just a background that, you know, at some point I will be able to do something with. So, this was an angry day, and it basically says, "Stop the effing hate." We had some issues with some people that we lived next door to before we bought our house that were not good people, not nice people, and they were very bully-like. This was another paint off page. I had probably been using some sponge, you know, sponge daubers to apply paint to another project, and then I, you know, sponged off the rest over here. So this was more collage type stuff. This was very early, not good. Some stuff out of a magazine that I just kind of put together. Apparently this owl has a human face in it. Yeah, but I don't know what I was trying to do there, but that's part of it. You just play, figure things out. I was playing with stencils and paint here. I had been toying with trying to make like enamel dots out of hot glue. Of course, the hot glue clearly that I had was old because it was already yellowed and stuff when I was sticking it out, which wouldn't matter if you paint them. But obviously, if you're going to try to keep them clear, you can't see the text through the glue dot. So if you're going to do something like that, get new glue sticks. But so yeah, that was my attempt at trying to make, you know, like three-dimensional enamel dot flat back type embellishments with hot glue. And then just some stencil stuff. That was a picture that I lamely drew. Not very good, but it says self-hate. I don't hate myself. I must have been having, you know, just a blue day, and that's okay because I still like to come back and look at it. This was just one side of a face and then a bunch of hair. Some of this hair is done with alcohol marker, and then there's some paint mixed in there too. But this was originally I covered some of it, but I had drawn like a grin on here, like the Cheshire Cat. It says "We're all mad here." I kind of covered a lot of it up, I guess, because I see black paint. So I don't know. Maybe I didn't like the grin. More paint. Brush off kind of stuff. I was messing with some glitter glue here that I had picked up at Walmart that was all metallic colored glitter glue, so I was just putting it on the navy paint because it popped. This is where I'd kind of done a little bit of memory keeping in here. This is where I was messing around with watercolors on acrylic stamp blocks. So I was basically just taking like watercolor and, you know, just painting the block and then pressing it into the paper. And so these are the kind of effects you get when you do that. More stencil stuff, a little bit of journaling, and some other kind of painting stuff, just writing some things down. And I feel like it's okay to do that here. It's okay to do it anywhere that you want. Your books don't have to, you know, all stay one particular, like you can only write in one and you can only glue things in another one. It's crap on that. You do whatever you want. Crap on that. This was where I was just playing with some new paint I think I had bought. This was back in September of 17. I probably bought some of this metallic purple paint. And as you can see, I was kind of mixing it with the green And then a couple places here I thought looked like pretty flowers, like loving these flowers, because all I did was, you know, kind of just a paintbrush technique, and then it looks like I added a few, you know, outline marks. That could be, you know, a really pretty flowery looking thing. And then I was practicing with a paintbrush on kind of doing the more pressure, less pressure towards the top to get the finer point. So those are my vines. And then these colors I had painted all on here, and then I thought it looked like mermaid tail colors, so I went ahead and sketched a mermaid tail. Just things like that that come to you, you know. It's not fancy. It's just, I still like to look at it. I think these colors are really pretty together, so. This was probably a stress relief. This was January of last year. So I've had this book since I've been working in this since 2017. And I don't do anything chronologically. I did this year. So yeah, it's too stressful for me to try to put things in order chronologically, because then I always feel like I'm missing space or there's empty space, so I just go in here, pick a page and work. I had a scrap piece of paper that I had cut something out of from the die cutting machine. And basically it looked just like this. And I thought, that kind of looks like an owl's, you know, top of their face. And so I glued that down, and then I used some distress crowns and just kind of gave her some color. The background I think was already there. And then, so I love these bright yellows and pinks and oranges together. And apparently something was bothering me, I guess, because my response was, I don't give a hoot. This was a page that I have done relatively, these pages recently. There's the other part of my perfume box. I was looking for that. I found this picture in like an old magazine, and I loved it. And this is a napkin. I loved it. I don't think when I did, it's all, you know, it's not perfectly straight around the edge of the page. I don't give a crap. The point of this is to, you know, make stuff that you can go back and look at because it looks pretty. This is all, I've got some oil pastels or something along the edges here. I can tell because it's coming off on my finger, but there's my two. Ha! I was looking for that as well. I may have to pull that off this page because I think I want it for my New Year's ATC. Don't judge. Don't judge. I went through the whole package of die cuts, and I had 5, 4, 3, and 1, and I didn't have 2. I was irritated, and sure enough, there it is. I'll put something else there. Anyway, this was a napkin. I don't even think I had managed to get all the backing layers off of it, but it stuck down, so. And then this was something else that I kind of threw together. This was part of a gift bag and some other stuff. Bits and pieces, apparently, is what that was. That's exactly what that was. I love this one, too. I did this last year. There's some magazine pictures of faces. I did some texture paste bubbles. So these are all raised. Lots of metallic glues. These are Delusion sprays. Yeah. Just some words. Now that's really wild, the realist, fresh. None of it makes any freaking sense. But it's beautiful to look at, and it's fun to feel. So, hey. This is an empty Scotch tape wheel. So when you get done with your Scotch tape and you have the empty plastic wheel, that's what that is. That's my stamp for that. Paint off page, probably. This was some stencil and spray background. This was a picture that I colored. I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2017. I was doing the Bluebell coloring challenge thing. So every month you'd get a free image. You'd color it, post it, tag it, kind of thing. I'm not very good at coloring. I was trying to get better at it, but that's my I can't adult today chick. More stenciling and spraying, paint offing, stenciling. These are Delusions paints, Delusion sprays. More of my Scotch tape wheel. Yeah, another collage. This big thing said, "Are you ready for the future?" You can see most of it. But I had to cut off the ends to get it to fit. This was one of my earlier ones, I think. I don't have a date on this. Yes, I do. 2017, it says. No month, though. More paint off. Probably more paint. This was a piece of painty paper, like jelly plated paper, that I glued down, and then I apparently glued some leaf die cuts on it. I don't know. So, this was funny. I was messing with, the pastel sticks here. These are I think these were the cheapy ones that don't blend well, maybe. And then I ended up trying to see if I could get them to do anything with water, and then it ripped the paper because this is real thin, terrible paper. So then I had all this white stuff here, so I just went in and threw some paint down, and then I was using, probably when I was doing my mixed media, or my thing back here, I did paint off here, so it just kind of looks like the rainbow's puking black dots. I don't know. This is where I've gone through and reinforced a few times. So yeah, see, I've still got empty pages in here. I've tried to go back and glue some of these together. Some of them automatically kind of got glued together. I'll just leave them that way. I think this was a paint off page from this project. It looks like that's what that was. This was, yeah, another kind. I think I was messing with I got some Jane Davenport acrylic paints for my birthday, and I got a stencil. So I was kind of messing around with that. That's how that turned out. It's all black, dark as my soul. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's there. And this is all stuck together. Again, I don't care. Yeah, I've got, looks like a Jane Davenport stamp here. I've got some kind of hibiscus floral stamp here that I used some kind of different colors on. I was doing some dot doodling. This is like some kind of stamp that I apparently did in, it looks like paint. Stamped in paint. There's some number stamps, some stencil. Oh, maybe that's a stencil. No, that's a stamp. Anyway, yeah. Just art marks stuff. I think this is nothing. I'm probably just going to cover this up, but I was practicing with a calligraphy pen that I got for my birthday last year. I suck at it. I'm terrible. And then I think this is, I was practicing my up and down strokes with a Tombow, Tombow marker. There's more of my, and I'll probably just go ahead and glue these together. More of my trying to practice with calligraphy pen. So yeah. And this is where most of my blank pages are, I guess, towards the back. I don't have anything there. This was me trying to blend unblendable Artist Loft oil pastels. So that obviously didn't turn out good. Yeah, just more paint off. This must have been like a sponge that I was cleaning off. More paint off. More paint off. This was like, these were the crusty bits from the lid of the paint. And I used like a gel medium or something and just stuck them down in there and then kept painting over them until they stuck. So, yeah, weird. More paint off. This was more of a memory keeping page, and it looks like we got some stick together here. There we go. This was my son's first year in football at his school, so I basically just kind of saved some of the rosters. And I had already had some black and gold paint down, so I just kind of put that in there. More paint off. This was a page I had done for some art journaling group, I guess, last year. The theme was like red and black. And there may have been another theme, I don't remember, another prompt, but that's what I came up with for that. So the quote said, "There is a voice that doesn't use words, listen," and it's by Rumi. And I used some of the Tim Holtz word stickers and some stamping and stenciling, and I think the feeling I was getting here was like a tear, a rip, some kind of emotional, you know, like your inner voice coming from the depths trying to get out and tell you, hey, don't stop being stupid. I think that was kind of the feeling with that one. This is some more just backgroundy, you know, art mark, stencil. Well, it doesn't look like there's any stencil. Yeah, colors on a page. This is, I think, I don't know what this was for. It says drowning in her secrets. So it was supposed to be like, and you know, there's no actual eyeballs there. So it's like dead eyes, drowning in her secrets. More paint off. This might have been pastels. This feels like pastels. These very possibly could have been the Crayola ones, which blend a lot better. This was a Chipotle bag that I Mod Podged down, tore up and Mod Podged down. So I guess I've got underpants. Didn't do anything with it yet. More paint off. I love those colors together. This is something that I was trying to do. I think I was inspired by a lot of the color and the style. One of the Instagram people I follow, I think it's called Jessie's Painting. And she's brilliant. She does amazing work. But I was thinking like, you know, crazy looking Dr. Seussy trees and a crazy looking Dr. Seussy house. This is probably my naive art right here, actually, to be honest. But so she does a lot of this blue and this hot pink together, which I just love. So these are my stupid trees that don't really look like trees, and then my house, which, you know, looks like a house. This is my bird. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but the thing I love about this page is I, you know, painted the tree foliage, you know, the pink, and at some point, months later, I went back over it with orange oil pastel, and I just love how this orange looks on this pink. It's killer, man. I could look at that all day long. It's just gorgeous. So, you know, eventually I'll probably come back and do more to this, like, you know, maybe add some little tree, leafy, bunchy shapes. So maybe it'd be more obvious it looked like a tree. Apparently I had some Christmas candy cane washi tape. And this was a stamp off. I was making a sign to promote my son during football season for my door at work, and I had used some foam letter stamps, and I was probably just stamping them off there. So that's that book. And this has already taken a really long time. But since I was already open to trying to kind of work on this, I kind of just wanted to go ahead and show you the rest of it. I've got other books. Won't show them right now. I did go ahead and get pictures printed off and put in my December junk journal, and did a little bit of journaling. I'm going to try really hard to keep a planner this year. We'll see how this goes. I'm terrible at it, but I started. So I was missing I guess they call this a dashboard page, like that. So I went ahead and just created one. I bought the We Are Memory Keepers planner punch. It works pretty well. It didn't quite punch this straight, but I wrote this with the paint pen. This was just scrap paper, washi tape, paint pen. I wrote these with the paint pen. I went down and did all of my currently reading, planning, watching, cooking, monthly goals. Don't forget, and I numbered my January calendar. So that's about as far as I've gotten. I have not done this week's layout yet, so that's my plan. I'm terrible at planning because I don't really do a lot. I mean, you know, sometimes we've got appointments and things we've got to go do, but it's not, I don't just have, you know, such a busy itinerary that I have to keep it documented. So a lot of times I end up using this more as more of memory keeping. And then I'm like, well, why do I need to do that if I have like an art journal, junk journal, because I'll do it in there. And then I have a traveler's notebook where I do some in there. And oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Because yeah, I have this book that I write things in. And I started trying to plan in here because I thought maybe it would be a little less, what's that word, where I feel like I've got to do every single week. And since it's just grid paper, if I just do a week and then miss 6 weeks, it's not a big deal. So I did do some of that in here. I even, and then I skipped lots of months. Here's April. And then I went to Christmas card list and November. So, yeah, I've got that going on too. And I do journaling in here. Yeah, so I got a lot of stuff going on. I've got 1,400 different places where I do things. So, yeah. I probably need to work on that. And I don't think I'm the only one with that problem, because I feel like that a lot of other people are the same way. They're like, ooh, look at this, you know, planner, I'm gonna buy it. And then they find another one that they like, and they find another one. I mean, I just don't feel like realistically that most of us are gonna keep 2 or 3 planners and a traveler's notebook. And I love the traveler's notebook fad though. It's fun and they're pretty, and yeah, I've got a couple. Oh, here's my page marker. I made this, by the way, yeah, so that I could put my pen in my notebook and mark the page. And so I just put together a card that's got some decoration on it and used a binder clip, glued a piece of elastic to it, and voila. Yeah. So, it pretty much looks like that when you put it back in. Anyway. And so, okay, the other thing I'm working on right now is I'm trying to get my ATC done for the swap over at Let's Make a Mess Today for New Year's ATCs. So, I'm working on my ATC that's going to Dawn. And then... and I didn't do any of that on video, so I'm just going to go ahead and save it and not do it on video, and then it'll be a surprise for you, Dawn, since I didn't do it. But I can show you that these are old ATC blanks from last year that I had made for, I think it was an ATC swap in Let's Make a Mess Today. And so these were the leftover blanks I had. Love those colors. And then here's the leftover blanks I have from the ones that I am making for New Year's. So I'm kind of going with a purpley, golden, metallic-y, purple, gold, and silver kind of theme, I guess, is what I was going for. Purple's my favorite color, but I kind of felt like the metallic was a good kind of New Year color. So my friend was over the other night and she just fell in love with these ATC. I explained to her what ATCs were, artist trading cards, and how, you know, different ways that you can make them, and she wanted some of my ATC blanks. So I went ahead and had her pick out what she wanted and take them home with her. So yeah, so I'll be working on the ATC, and then I plan to enter the giveaway that they're doing over at Spanky's Craft Corner. She recently reached 500 subscribers. So yay, congratulations to Spanky. That's awesome. I think it was 500, wasn't it? I'm going to feel bad if it was like 1,000. I'm pretty sure it's 500. So, congratulations to her. Apparently there's a mess here. And so they're doing a giveaway, and in order to participate, they want you to send in some stuff. So make some stuff and send it in, and then they will do a drawing from those people who made stuff. And that's fine with me. It encourages me to make some stuff rather than just sit here and stare at the wall or try to figure out what to do. So I can get up to 3 entries by making, I guess that's been on there too long and it's not coming off. I guess if I scrubbed it with soap and water, it'd probably come off. My friend was working here the other night and she was all like, I got paint on this. I'm so sorry. And ultimately, this is what it's for because I don't want paint on my table. And I actually don't do a lot of wet media work here. This is my less messy table. The idea originally was that I was going to use this as like my planner, traveler's notebook table, where mostly my mediums are dry. And then I've got my white corner table over there where I've also recorded, where that's my wet paint, lots of glue, you know, super messy stuff. It's protected by a much larger protector thingy over there. It's got a great big old laminated, it was a 2018 12-month or 2017 12-month calendar with all the months on there. So it was like big poster size. And my husband brought it home. And I'm like, oh yeah, from his office. And they're just going to throw it away. I was like, oh yeah, that's a great desk protector. I'll use that. So now I'm sitting here finding spots of stuff I'm trying to clean. Oh, this is like tape. Why is there tape on my desk? Okay. So my point was I plan to work on sending an ATC. So I want 3 entries in Spanky's giveaway. So to get 3, you would send 1 ATC, 1 tag, and 1 postcard. I finally got that out. It took me 15 minutes between cleaning paint, and so I really wish that I would have known that before I cut that whole background up into tag size, because I feel like I'd kind of like my 3 items to match. So I'm probably going to do another mixed media background on another piece of cardboard, and then I'm going to cut some ATCs out of that, a postcard, and a tag. That way my stuff will match. I don't think it needs to match, but it's going to match because that's how I roll. So anyway, those are so the ATC for Dawn, because I'm swapping with Dawn over at Let's Make a Mess today. And then, so I'm going to get her sent out. It's almost done. And then I'll have some other goodies for Dawn as well. I have not been able to send out a lot of happy mail to people, mainly because I'm lazy and I want to, but going to the post office for me is just, I think I have like social anxiety. I just don't like to, I go to work and I do the things that I absolutely have to do, but I don't like to go anywhere. I don't like people. I just want to hide. So yeah, it's hard for me to, get to the post office. Like mentally, it's hard for me. So I know it sounds ridiculous, and you guys are probably, I'm lazy. I'm not going to make excuses, but, it's like when I can actually motivate myself to leave the house and go take care of something that needs done, aside from going to work every day. But, if I need to run an errand or something that I can't take care of online, or I can't, there's no other way for me to take care of it. Like once I finally get up the, ability to go, I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like, why did I make such a big deal out of it? But I thought maybe what I would do this year is order some international forever stamps online and have them mailed to me, so that I have some, so that I can at least send small goodie envelopes out randomly to people, just because I want to. And I haven't really been doing a lot of that. So Dawn's going to get some extra things with her I've actually kind of been collecting things that I keep thinking I want to send to her, and I'm bad about that. I will do that. I will collect things and be like, oh, this would be great for, you know, this person, and it'll kind of just sit there forever, and I will never send it out. It's terrible. It's terrible. So I guess that could be one of my goals for 2019, is to try to get better at sending things out. I know a lot of you out in our crafting communities just send and receive stuff all the time, and I have a very healthy respect for those of you that can get out, you know, weekly, a couple times a week, go to the post office, mail a bunch of packages, you know. But yeah, I'm working on it. So yeah, right now, that's pretty much what I'm working on. I've got a whole other list of stuff that I want to get to as well. I was able to get a bunch of old fence piece type wood from my father-in-law. He and my mother-in-law used to make some like boxes and little shadow boxes and trays, and they've made birdhouses, all kinds of stuff out of these fence pickets that they picked up. And so she unfortunately passed away late 2018, and so he, you know, rightfully so, doesn't really feel like he wants to do any of this anymore. So I ended up getting a big stack of that stuff, because he was throwing it in the trash. I said, well, I'll take some of it. And so now I have a whole pile that's probably 3 feet tall. So I kind of want to use that to make some wall decoration for my own house, more than anything, and maybe make some gifts for people. And that's something that I don't have to do right away, but I did bring a piece of wood down to my room just so that I could see if I could even do something that looked halfway decent that I would hang on my wall, or if it was going to take more thought and practice, I guess. So anyway, that's all. I have been yakking for quite a while, so there will probably be more videos soon to come. I was going to do the video for my friend of a friend about journal options and how to make journals. And I may do some more flip throughs, may do some of this color swatching. So hopefully I'll get some videos up this week. And yeah, so everybody that I've been, you know, meeting lately, and some of the other live streams and things like that have come over and subscribed, I thank you for that. I really appreciate it, and I always try to make sure I subscribe back, and so that we can kind of, you know, see what each other's doing and see what everybody's got going on, and get inspiration from each other, because that's super important. So thank you to everybody who is supporting me, and just supporting art in general, not just me, because I'm no superstar, but supporting the art groups. We all appreciate you very much. So have a great day. Again, Happy New Year. I hope that everybody's well and relaxing today, and just enjoying the first day of 2019 before it's back to adulting again, which is not near as fun. Back to work for me tomorrow. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit like. Feel free to leave me a comment down below and let me know you're here. Just say hi, whatever. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe and click the notification bell, and then somebody will come by and tell you whenever I post a new video, so you can come and listen to me gab. So everybody have a great day. Thanks. Bye.